All right, now that we're warmed up, let's start looking at the goals of your video series. Now, broadly speaking, you have one of two goals. It's either brand awareness or business development. If you're starting from scratch, most likely you're going to have to set your goal to be brand awareness because people don't know you yet. You want to start building up that awareness piece. Naturally, if your goal is a sales oriented goal, you're going to look more towards business development, especially if you already have an audience and now your focus is shifting a little bit more towards sales specifically. But either way, we're going to go through both of them so that you can see how, when you're building a video series, depending on the goal that you select, a lot of different things will come into play. So first of all, let's look at the brand awareness track. The goal here is to drive traffic and leads. With business development, the goal here is to build a relationship with your key accounts so that you can shorten the sales cycle with them. Naturally, with brand awareness, the mindset and the vibe that you're after is a one-to-many approach. Whereas with business development, the only way that it could make sense for you to have a show where you're essentially interviewing prospects, maybe like C-level executives at your target accounts, is if they are high ticket. So I would say anything below 12K annual contract value should not even be considered in this regard because it would not be worth your time. So ideally you have an annual contract value that's much higher than 12K. And last but not least is that naturally when you're thinking of brand awareness, you're thinking of guests that have large relevant networks. And you want to make sure that they also have domain expertise that they can share with your audience. We're going to talk a lot more about that. On the business development side, you want to make sure that the guests that you're bringing on board are decision makers because the whole point is to build relationships with them and to shorten the sales cycle. And so if that is the case, it makes sense to go straight after the decision makers and find something that all of them share so that you can build a show concept around that. Again, we're going to talk a lot more about that in the coming modules.